brethren, all praises to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakudash. It's your brother Eldiathana back at you with another video. And in this video, I just want to bring out this article that the priest Zakar has sent me from the New York camp. And this is a new law that is attempted to be passed in Canada. And as you can see there, this is the People's Voice website, and the title is Canada Legalizes For-Profit Euthanasia for Parents Who Regret Having Their Baby. And if you read down, it says WEF, or the WEF, infiltrated nation of Canada, has announced plans to legalize for-profit euthanasia for toddlers and infants, paving the way for big businesses to open mass suicide facilities for parents who regret giving birth. And I wanted to bring this out because you can get a lot out of this one paragraph right here. But let's read down a little bit. Let's see what WF stands for, because I don't know what that organization is. It stands for the World Economic Forum. Well, of course, we know that one of the planks of the NWO for them is to depopulate the earth. And one way they do that is they work on the minds of the people, mainly the women. And what they say is that children get into the way of progress. So in other words, if you want to accomplish goals in life, children are just going to get into the way. And I say especially women because the narrative being pushed on women now, the story or the American dream, is that, look, you can make money as well. Just like men do, you can make money, you can be the breadwinner, you can go on OnlyFans and make 6 figures in 1 week. There's so many directions you can go in your life which are limitless to you, but a child will get in the way of that. A child will tie you down to being a mother. A child will tie you down to having a family. A child will tie you down to the man that you're with. And so things or struggles become too hard for you to reach the American dream because of a child. Well, you have to get rid of it. You're justified in getting rid of it. So another thing that this brings out is that it says right here that paving the way for big business to open suicide facilities for parents who regret giving birth. Now, Esau, when they market something, what they do is they create a problem and then they provide a solution. Order ab KO. It's called marketing. So you create a product and you create a need for the product so that you can sell it. So you have to ask yourself, well, before Esau or a businessman plans a business, or puts money into a business, they have to have a business plan. And part of that business plan is they have to see, well, is this business going to be profitable in the coming years? So I say that to say that there's something coming down the pipe, and we all know what that is. There are things coming down the pipeline where they find that there's going to be a great need. It says paving the way for big businesses to open mass suicide facilities. So that way they're going to create the need in the near future for parents. And when I read parents, I read single moms, because it's single women that are going to the abortion clinics now and getting abortions. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 abortions. So it's not the man's fault. There's women that got so many abortions that they get turned down by the abortion clinics because now they're jeopardizing the livelihood of the woman because they've done so many abortions. Now her body is likely to be affected by it. So that has nothing to do with the man. That's the woman. Your body, your choice, right? So they're the ones that are choosing to lay down with multiples of men because they want to live their life or they want to go through their whole phase, whatever. And so they're repeatedly going back to the abortion clinics. Well, now your child could be a toddler, so it could learn to say "mama," "dada," and all that. It could be walking around or learning how to walk. You know, it could be starting to put letters together. I'm not sure exactly. Let me look it up. What age is considered toddler? Toddler. Let's see. So toddler is 1 to 3 years old. So according to this new law, your child could be 3 years old, and you can euthanize your child. Now, another thing this goes into is that we know that another big business is organ harvesting. Now, when you euthanize a child, so we brought out one point. One point is that they see there's going to be a need for mass suicides of children, which we know that the time of Jacob's trouble is coming. So we can this so you line everything up with scriptures, so you can see that there's going to be think of Masada, right? Something like Masada. Um, if those Israelites were able to somehow, a lot of them did murder their children. They murdered their children before the Romans were able to get to them. So these let's say parents, if they find themselves in such distress to where they can't feed their child, they don't have money to feed the child. We know what's coming down the pipeline. Guess what? They're going to elect them to be sent to these facilities if this law were to pass. And we know that when you follow the money or the potential for money is big enough as what they project here, as we're reading this article for big businesses. Guess what? Is going to pass the law. The law is going to pass because money talks. We all know that, especially in politics. Politics is all about money. So we established, number one, that there's going to be a need. We could very well see a business model for this, right? That there will be a need for this. Number two, another need is that there's a large market, underground market for organ harvesting, right? So if we go to, like, for instance, go here, child organ trafficking, global reality and inadequate international response. So we know organ harvesting is a huge deal on a black market. Let's see what organ is most demanded in organ trafficking. Let me see. Let's see what this is. Kidneys. Kidneys are most common on the organ market, followed by livers and corneas. Wow. What organ is harvested in child trafficking? Organ harvesting is a very rare form of trafficking where children are exploited for the purpose of buying, selling, or otherwise commoditying parts of their body. Okay, well, that's not what this article says, and I go with this article because we're going to read the scripture as well that goes into all of that. So we see another potential for them to make money, which is what? Child organ harvesting, which is huge on the black market. Organs are very expensive. Now, when you euthanize a child, see, the primitive method of abortion was to stick a device inside the woman and tear the child in pieces. Now, when you do it that way, the child, basically you have to what do you call it? The word. You have to preserve whatever you can, and it's messy. The child is ripped in pieces. If you want to get the heart or the liver, it might be intact, it might not be. Now, when you do it this way, when you euthanize, it's usually by injection, like lethal injection or something like that. Most likely it's going to be lethal injection. All the parts of the body are intact, and they can sell everything because everything is intact. So we know the black market for organ harvesting is huge. Now, the reason I want to bring this out is because basically what this all ties into is part of the system, which is all goes down into the road of sacrificing to Baal, sacrificing to Molech, sacrificing to the satanic deities that the elites worship, and that these citizens, American citizens, so to speak, and Canadian citizens, whether they know or don't know, they're sacrificing their lives and sacrificing their children's lives to satanic deities. This is nothing more than what was going on in Egypt and in the land of Canaan, and later on, what Israelites were doing. For instance, the Aztecs and the Mayans. You watch the movie Apocalypto, when they were sacrificing their children, which is not what this is. This is sacrificing your children. All they were doing was continuing the same practices that the Most High told us not to do, after the manner of the heathen. So let's get that. That is in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha, right here. I'm just going to go to the point. Let's go with 4. It says, now this is referring to the Hamites, the Canaanites who were living in the land of Canaan, which later the Most High gave us charge, the Israelites, to go in there and slaughter everything because of what we're about to read now. Okay, so let's read number 4. It says, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcraft and wicked sacrifices. So the Canaanites, the Hamites, they were known for their witchcraft, repulsive witchcraft, the most disgusting forms of witchcraft possible, which includes men sleeping with men, women with women, men and women with animals. That is all part of their works of witchcraft to appease their idols, their satanic idols, Molech. It says, verse 4, whom thou hatest for most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, verse 5, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh and feasts of blood. So they would mercilessly murder their children. Now, when you get an abortion and they stick a device inside of you, talking to the women, and they rip the baby apart, that is a merciless murder. And you can't sit there and complain about slavery when Esau used to do that, because Esau would pin the women up and rip the babies right out of their stomachs. You can't complain about them when they did it, because now you're paying Esau to do that. You can't complain when the conquistadors did it over in an island in Hispaniola, Santo Domingo, Haiti. They were doing the same thing. But now you're paying the Edomites to do it to your own children. So you're following the same odious works of witchcraft. And whether you know it or not, those children that you murder in your womb, those children are packaged up. Whatever they can salvage, they package them up. They use them for experiments. They use them for science to try to come up with new scientific advancements, nanotechnology, gene editing. They used body parts that were able to salvage to sell on a black market, or from adrenochrome. You know, some of them are into what do you call that? There's a term for it where they feast on the flesh. I can't remember the name of it. Something kitchen or something flesh cooking or something like that, where they feast on the meat of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood. And the Most High specifically told Israelites before they went into that land not to do this. If we go to the book of Leviticus 18, and let's go down to like 19. Now, the Most High gave us this whole rundown before we got into the land of Canaan, after we got out of Egypt and before the land of Canaan. By the way, those are the same people. Those are the Hamites that were in Egypt and also in the land of Canaan. So let's read 18. It says, neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness besides the other in her lifetime. So you're not supposed to wife up a woman and her sister as well. That's against the law, verse 19, right there. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart for uncleanliness. You know, so she's on her period, so to speak, and her man puts her apart, which according to the law, it's 7 days she's unclean. Another man should not be should not approach her for adultery, and really her own husband is not supposed to approach her and uncover her because she's unclean. Verse 20. Let's get to the point I'm looking for. Okay, let's read verse 20. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife. That's adultery, to defile thyself with her. Verse 21, the point. And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech. Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord. So you're not supposed to make fun of the name of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And you're not supposed to let any of thy seed pass through the fire. So that's the merciless murdering that it was talking about, because they would literally sacrifice their children to Molech. And let's see if we get a quick image of that. Let's see if we get an image of that. There we go. And they got the script right there. You shall not give any of your children to devote them by fire to Molech and profane the name of your power. And look at the images. So right now, 2023, the way they're doing this is just going to the abortion clinic. And that's how you sacrifice your children. All right, so I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that, I'm going to say shalom. Hey, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, shalom.